Everybody, JX here again. Today we're going to go back in time about a month or two and we're going to beat on Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. We're going to use a team consisted of Shadow Dragons, which actually happened to be his weakness. During the event itself, he was considered the more difficult of the two between him and Goku, and it can be easily seen as why, as he has 4 phases versus Goku's 3. We had some friends earlier today struggling with this, so this video is in part made to help them. So the team I have set up here is just a setup of villains with Shadow Dragons and Janemba. It's not anything special, just something that you can kind of set apart yourself, and without further ado, let's get into it. Starting off is your typical little introductory to the battle. It's just normal Vegeta from GT, nothing too special. He's got strength, 3 bars of health. Even Rose himself here will be a good block. You don't really need to use the Shadow Dragon Link here, but it'll be active from the start as the Link becomes active from phase 1 all the way to 4. It's not a specific set timeline. As the character is Vegeta, it needs to be used on. Unlike Cooler, where the passive effect is only active when Cooler himself is on the battlefield. Alright, making some quick work of him real quick. Now you can see that we have our first 2 Shadow Dragons active on the field, Omega and Ice Shinron. If that's not how you pronounce Ice's name, I apologize, I do not remember. But Omega's coming in, and you're going to see probably a giant damage increase over the rest of our people simply because of his Link being active. He's only hitting for about 183,000 according to the stat gain here, but he just walloped him for almost 500,000. And that's the end of phase 1 Vegeta. He'll transform here to his second phase of Super Saiyan, just base Super Saiyan with 4 bars of health and tech, which now adds a little bit of a struggle as I'm already experiencing it. I now have Rose here, and I have to figure out the best way to do this, as since Vegeta's in turn 1 and turn 3, there's no way I can position Rose where he won't take a hit, but have both my dragons linked. And as you can see, there's like a little fiery icon along them like that. It only gets that intense if you have a specialty link active, versus the normal yellow sparkles that might come off. There's also a handy way too if you ever not sure if your link is active. If the fire is going on, you've got the link active. So I'm going to go ahead and take the bullet here with Rose, as I'm hoping he won't do any ults and end us a little early. I don't think he will, but who knows. We got Nova blasting him, 252,000. That's again because of the link. Rose will probably not too much as it's a weakness, but we'll see. Yep, 81,000. Well, he tried. And we didn't get ults, but still got hit 40k. And that's only on the second phase of Vegeta, so you can see how having proper links and proper blocking here is pretty much your only way to win this fight. Coming back, we have Ice, Omega, and Rose on this following turn. My hope here is now Ice has advantage over Vegeta. So, in between him and Omega, I hope he'll die, putting us into the next phase, and then we'll probably heal on the following turn. And, yep. Alright, well, that is the end of Super Saiyan Vegeta, and now he will transform into Super Saiyan 3. Wish Strength again, similar to first phase, but he's far stronger now, and also has 5 bars of life. This is also the time here where I'm going to pull out an item or two, as third phase can get a little hazy if you kind of don't try to get done with it as fast as you can jumping into the final phase, as he can hit nearly as hard, if not harder, than Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta at times, and just getting out of this phase does me more favors than staying in it. So I'm going to usher him away. We're going to pop Janemba, whose whole purpose here is to block, but even with blocking, I don't really want to take a risky hit here. We have 2 dragons hitting. Janemba won't hit too much, but as I said, his purpose here is to be a blocker. Nova will try his best. About 250,000, that's pretty good. And Sen here will smack him, also lowering his defense, which will help us. Only hitting a 122,000, pardon me, but we have Omega on the turn, Eyes, and Rose. And now Rose is back to actually being type advantage, so even though he still won't do much damage, he still won't take as much damage either, which is the hope. We're going to pop a Bulma here, get her health back, get an additional attack bonus to try to get out of this phase, as I said earlier. And the hope is, now that his defense is lowered, Omega should wallop him for a big amount. But we'll find out in a second. Got some cross swords. Schwink! Oh, 370,000. Good boy, Rose. Omega comes in. He's got his bubblegum bomb. And boom. 656,000. Right on. We're under the last bar of health. And if we're lucky, Eyes will kill him, but I doubt that. Yeah, 232,000 close, and now we're going to get ulted, and you're going to see exactly how much damage he could do. That's 52,000 on him, and that was with the Shadow Dragon Link active, meaning he negated a good part of that. As you saw, an orange link appeared there as he was taking the damage, which means he negated a good portion of that, as that would have probably killed anybody else that wasn't a proper blocker. And this should be the end of Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta here. Cross sword him out of here. Boom. And now comes the phase that makes everybody cry. Here comes Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, who is difficult from the outset. I know a fair amount of people have struggled with him, but as with everything, now you have a full set of items, all the Dragon Links active you need to, and you can come in here just ready and willing. We used a grand total of 2 items getting up here. So we have all sorts of goodies to pick from. And even though Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta himself is immune to stun, I probably should have added this at the start, but oh well. Ghost Ushers aren't really a part of that, as what a Ghost Usher does is it doesn't stun the enemy, it kind of just skips their turn. So that isn't included in the stun little algorithm they use. So coming up here, we're going to set up our first turn. Let's see. What's the best way to do this? The most time. My hope here is Omega now has a disadvantage against Vegeta, so it's possible this may hurt, but Omega's passive is he'll reduce the damage by 30% he takes, and he has the Shadow Dragon Link. So even a disadvantage here, Vegeta hits him for only about 13,000. So that's pretty good. And we even have Dokkan mode active here. There's a whole different ballgame of things. Like if you get this active here, there, whenever, that's great and all, but you really have to kind of play a very specific way to have Dokkan mode go in your favor. That's more like a, oh, that just saved my ass kind of thing, not really something you should rely on. See how much damage Omega can hit him? Oh my, that Dokkan mode active, that looked to be about 1,202,000, but he is about to get ulted by Vegeta here. 70k. And as I said earlier, that was anybody else except for the Shadow Dragon person Link or a proper blocker, that would have just ended you right there. That would have been the game. And that's exactly the importance of using these linked characters. I know everyone likes to use their favorite ones, but things like this is where you kind of can get a little iffy and lose. So if you want to actually properly win this, you know, maybe 100% of the time, it's just best to use the units needed, unless you can truly just come in here and nuke him. As Vegeta's down to his last 2 bars of health already because of that quite ridiculous Dokkan mode. I expected this final phase to go a little longer, but oh well. We'll use Ghost Usher. We'll cancel out his turn. Which is funny because I've just used Ghost Ushers 2 times now with Janemba on the field, so using him over Merged Zamasu for this video was probably not the best option at this point, but oh well. It's 93k. Rose is going to come in. He's down to his last bar of health. Spirit Sword away. Kaboom. 176,000. And Ice Shinron, everybody's favorite Shinron, barely nicked him. So, yeah. The funny thing is, I have him at Super Attack 10 as well, and that's about the best I can expect out of him, I guess. So, maybe using someone else over him might be the best. Especially too now that we're at a part where Nova Shinron has a Dokkan. I have the medals for it, but I'm waiting for Ginyu, so I haven't Dokkan my own. But the rest of the dragons, Omega and Sin especially, they are golden boys here. But as you can see, that was the end of Vegeta. Very little maintenance needed, not much of a struggle at all. And that was just with 4 Shadow Dragons, Janemba and Rose. And you can make far better villain teams than this. But for the sake of the video, this is supposed to be a Link showcase, and that is exactly what the links for this fight will do. So, until next time, everybody, have a good one.